No, can we talk about how I know Caroline Polachek watched that audition tape. And she's gonna try and admit she wasn't influenced by that? Mary Roach is everything Caroline Polachek wants to be.
Oh my god. Oh my.
Put it in the episode, I dare you.
Manic
Pixie
Jump Scare. Hosted by Quinn Murphy
and Becca Hobart.
Howdy.
Hi.
We're
We're
Quinn.
Quinn.
And we're
And
Becca.
we're Becca.
And welcome to Manic Pixie Jump Scare, a podcast where we talk openly about our shared delusions
Passions.
and
And love
for
each other.
Sweet.
Yeah. That was pretty nice, Quinn.
I know, right?
Oh,
My
yeah.
accent work. My accent work has been growing lately, actually.
Well, you've traveled so much, how could it not?
Not even because of my travel. It was actually only when I came home my accent work could grow because what have I been watching, Becca, but Below Deck Down
Below
Under.
Deck. So is there a season 2 of that as well?
No. I think
You're
it's
just
coming.
rewatching the first season.
I've never seen the first season.
What? I thought you said that you had watched it.
I'd watched like some of it when it was just like on Bravo, but I haven't like sat down and like properly like watched all the way through and dissected it.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you're like really getting to see Captain Jason for all he is, which
Oh
is
my.
the best, most attractive captain that's ever sailed the seas.
Captain Jason, like
It hurts.
it hurts. I like no, if I worked on the motor yacht Thalassa, there'd be a lot. Like
It'd be bad. There'd be cases
Bravo
against
HR would
me.
have to
Yeah,
like
step
come get
in.
my ass. They would have to come collect me. They'd have to drag me off the boat in my own snail trail. Like
Her,
yeah,
literally.
like
Yeah.
oh my god.
Below Deck aside. Cause
I also love how we haven't addressed what we're wearing either.
oh, it's true.
This is another good day to be a
A
visual
visual
podcast viewer
learner.
because Becca and
Yeah.
I psychically decided that we were both going to wear something fun for the podcast.
Yep. And we are serving boy girl thing.
Yes, because I am like blue,
And
Becca's
I'm old
pink.
pink. Yeah.
So it's girl side, boy side on the podcast today.
Mm-hmm. And
Becca is
Quinn,
also
oh,
giving she doesn't even go here, Mean Girls Damien vibes because
I am.
her whole head is hidden behind her hood and
My
she is
hair's
wearing
so greasy.
sunglasses.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like also I'm like a little bit Anna Wintour with this
Yes.
particular shade,
Gen Z's
but
Anna Wintour.
you could say so. Who basically is what Damon was. Damien?
Damon.
I know. Ah, fuck. So I think my memory is getting worse like by the second. Anyway,
Oh my god, I called somebody fully the wrong name this weekend.
I'm not surprised by that,
And not
Quinn.
even somebody I don't know, like somebody I've spent a lot of time with. I fully looked at them, and it was the first time I had seen them since I've been home, and fully said the wrong name confidently, and then I was like, "How are you?" And they were like, "Really?"
So Quinn, you do that all the time.
I know I had to explain that.
What'd you say to this person?
I was just like, "Oh, I've been known to do this."
It's
My
so
friend,
funny.
my friend Becky
It's
talks about it a
so
lot.
me?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
remember that time I called you Becky?
Exactly. It was crazy. It was honestly one of the craziest things I've ever experienced because it felt like I was being gaslit on what my name was. Because you
I
just
feel
act
like
like nothing's wrong.
no, I do have that ability. I'm starting to realize like if I did want to like gaslight people, I could.
You really could. Yeah.
Because something have started doing as a part of my comedy is I lie to people because I think it's funny.
Stay tuned for our B block.
Anyway,
Okay, guys. Well, so I'm again. Oh, also, your accent in our intro is because you're wearing your little cowboy hat, right?
Yeah.
Your birthday
Hmm.
hat, which is so cute. Did
Yeah,
you get that
guys.
somewhere?
My mom gave it to me last year
Perfect.
because I had a party for my 21st birthday. A
Mm-hmm.
small little get together at me house.
Of course.
Um, and Becca was invited to, couldn't show up. Um,
Did you write
and
Becky on the invite?
maybe it got lost in the mail. Um,
Probably.
but yeah, and so my mom came home from Party City and had this, and I was like, I'm kind of obsessed with that actually. I thought about taking the "It's my birthday" off of it and just wearing the hat.
I kind of love It's My Birthday.
Yeah.
Because why
Um,
not?
but yeah, this hat serves a twofold purpose, and that is that it is my birthday show, kind of technically, because next
Mm-hmm.
time we record this podcast and release an episode, I will be 22 years of age.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe
Um,
it.
but yeah, my birthday is this Sunday, so 2 days after we release this episode. So you little jump scares who listened to the episode early, come shower me with love.
Exactly.
My DMs are open, and so is
There
my
will be
Venmo. My
posts.
Venmo is also Quinn P. Murphy. Um,
Love that. One time I put my Venmo in my Tinder bio and this kid requested me $50 that said, because you put this in your bio.
so that's not the joke, actually.
Basically.
My friend Sarah, the last 2 years on the first day of Sagittarius season, I have posted, "Oh, happy Sagittarius season. My Venmo is open if you want to support me during this time." And my friend
Oh,
Sarah has been the only person who sent me money. She
I'll
sent me
send you a
once.
dollar.
She sent me 1 cent last year, and then she put it up to $1 this year.
Wow. Oh my God.
So
Increased by
yeah,
1,000. That's
and
crazy.
that's what you got for a big girl job. So because she now works an
In
actual
in
job.
corporate.
Yeah,
In
corporate
corporate, I heard.
corporate girl.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I
but
heard, and
yeah,
she's up for a promotion, I heard too. Heard it here first.
heard it here
All right.
first.
Um, but what else have you been up to, Quinn, during your Sagittarius season? We
Oh,
just
well, actually, it's also
wait, it's
somebody else's
also
birthday
Taylor Swift's
today.
birthday.
Yes, we are recording on December
Yeah.
13th, the most important day of the year, perhaps. Um,
Hmm.
and yeah, that actually relates to the fact that I went to a Swiftie night this weekend
In
in
Delaware.
no, in the city of Philadelphia, actually,
Whoa.
just famously quite close to me. Um,
Yes.
and so yeah, me and my friend Kat went to Swiftie night.
Oh my God.
And there was like the flyer encouraged that people come in costume.
Hmm.
And you know me, like I'm never that person who wants to do like, oh, what's the first idea? And so I started, and I
You're a
also don't like,
stewer.
yeah, I don't like to go out and buy things either. Like I like to very much like think about what I have in my mind
Hmm.
and like build something based off of that. Now, the
Yeah.
problem with that is that sometimes I don't remember, I either lose things or I don't remember getting rid of them. And
Uh,
so I start to develop this idea that I'm going to dress like a cat because Taylor Swift has 2 cats. Well, actually 3 cats
yeah.
now. And so and I'm like, oh, well, one of her cats is white. So I looked up pictures of the cats, and I think the first
Hmm.
two are like all white. And so I'm like, oh, this is actually perfect. Because I have a white, like little mock neck. I have these white corduroy pants. I have white sneakers, and I can just wear that and then make a little like get little cat ears,
Yeah, it's
do my
perfect.
makeup, and then I'm a cat all of a sudden.
You're Meredith.
Yeah. Well, actually, I dressed up as Olivia because Olivia has a little like brown in
Okay.
her head, much like I do because of my hair.
In her
Um,
head.
yeah.
Perfect.
But then of course we get to Saturday. I have to leave to like because I was picking my friend who I was going with up on the way.
Hmm.
And I look in my closet. I've of course only left myself like an hour to shower, get dressed, do all that kind of stuff. Um,
Typical.
and so I like start to look in my closet and I realized that the mock neck I thought I was gonna wear wasn't even there. And so I'm like, okay, so what are we doing now? Um, and so then I just wore a little A-line tee I had, and I forgot I had that little white fur stole that I bought in Fort Lauderdale.
Ooh.
And then I haven't worn because I stained it really bad the first time I wore it because I had a Shirley Temple incident. So,
Oh my gosh.
got some stuff
Another
about
thing
that. Just
that
another
is
thing in my life.
known about you. Shirley Temple incidents.
Lots of Shirley Temple incidents.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, and so, but yeah, and then I wore and I had my little cat purse, so I was actually dressed up as Olivia and Meredith because I made Meredith a little name tag as well. And the
Cute.
cat purse was Meredith. I don't know where Benjamin was during the night, but and I did have the most creative costume. A lot of people weren't even there in costume. When me and my friend Kat showed up, she dressed as like Blank Space Taylor with like the crazy makeup.
Oh, nice.
And when we showed up, we were like the only two people in costume. And it was a little like
Oh my God.
And that's kind of the hard thing about doing a Taylor Swift costume party is that like, and that's why I felt like I had to go a little off like the beaten path because like
Hmm.
we love Taylor Swift here, but we're not going to her for looks.
It's true.
Like there are so many celebrities who we go to for looks, references, fashion, all that kind of things. Taylor Swift is not one of those people. And so
Yeah.
to me, it's not like super exciting to wear like, or I don't know, like what she wore in like
Cigarette
the
pants, her
yeah,
black
like the look what you made me
turtleneck.
do video. Yeah. Uh
Well, I like your creativity with the kitty.
oh yeah, the cat ended up going super well. Everybody was like, "Oh my God."
Good.
And I also didn't remember that when I was planning the outfit that she just released Karma, and Karma is the cat purring in my
Purring
lap
in my
because he
lap because
loves
it
me.
loves me. Yeah,
Oh
Lauren wants a cat now and wants to name it Karma.
my God.
Such a good cat name.
That's a good cat name. Can I
Hmm.
say,
No.
my I won't. Um my ex-boyfriend's sister actually got a cat and his name is Toast apparently. And I've had in my sticky notes on my computer for at least a year now. Toast would be a cute dog name. No.
Mm,
Um and she named a cat that, which I also support, but I'm like, "Oh my God, we're psychically connected in that way."
that's actually crazy, actually.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, Swifty night was very fun. I spent a lot of money on drinks. But we're not going to talk about that right now.
Why did I think at first that Taylor Swift would be there for some reason? That's kind of crazy.
Oh my God. That would have been crazy if she came out. There were Taylor Swift drag performances, and there was a drag queen that got
Ooh.
into the illusion quite a bit.
No, that's fun.
And
That's very
like
fun.
looked like Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
But yeah. Also, I do need to talk about, as I've been talking about, it's been like fun being home, but
Hmm.
I also find it to be quite a haunting, harrowing experience, which it is technically still fall. And as we all know for the fall time, being
Being
haunted is
haunted is
in,
in. Yeah,
as commented on by Becca Hobart.
it's
And
true.
so I think and much like is my kind of thing on this podcast is I feel like I sometimes expand the definition we tend to think of when it comes to things. So like haunting, people think like, ooh, a ghost,
Hmm.
like my great grandfather coming back from the dead from like the potato famine or something and like
As he's
teaching me a
known to
lesson.
do.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
something like that. But it's not actually that. It's instead like the fact that like your old haunts from like town, like the town you grew
Mm.
up in and stuff, like seeing everybody in like the grocery store or the Wawa or any real communal place, the town square even.
Oh my God. The town
But
square.
yeah, I had that
Town
moment
hall, city
because
council.
when I had that moment because I'm back in my cantering mass era. Because
So what does that mean, actually?
so I sing at mass at a
Nice.
mass. That started when I was a senior in high school, and I was like in the music ministry for it, like when it started. Um, and I stayed until like I had to leave for college. And so I came home. The priest has been struggling to find somebody to do like the music. And so I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be home for this time. Would you like some help?" And he was like, "Sure." Um,
Mm.
and so back to singing in church, which is fun because the last 2 weeks I've like partied and done crazy things over the weekend, and then I'm like, no, we got church in the morning.
Time to repent. Do you get
um,
paid?
no.
Uh,
The kid who I started with, who he was like 2 years below me and a good friend of mine, Jack. Hey, if you're
mhm.
listening. Um, when he graduated, because he had been there for a long time, he like they gave him like a lot of money.
Oh,
Didn't offer to share any of it with me.
what the
No, honestly, like,
hell? You in the church. What the hell, guys?
but it's okay because I get all the compliments, you know? Like when Jack and I would do choir, like when Jack and I would do mass together, I would get all the compliments because I'm the person that gets
Cool.
up there and sings and he plays the piano.
Dang.
Even though
Hope
he would make
Jack
the song
is listening.
selections, he
Oh.
would he would learn everything. He would explain things to me when I didn't get them.
Explain things to me. Uh, yeah.
He would send me tracks, like anyway. But yeah, so the thing about last Sunday's mass is that my high school's choir showed up and did a performance of some choral songs after mass was over. And so I talked to my high school's choir director, which ended up being pretty pleasant. And then I watched the choral program, amazing little program. Um, but then I'm getting up to leave mass, and when I had sat down after like they were taking the stage, I did hear someone say, "Hi, Quinn," and it's been like almost 4 whole years since I graduated high school, and so I'm like, who would know me? Like who here would know me? And so then
Yeah.
I'm leaving, and I see out of the corner of my eye these people approaching me as I'm leaving mass. And I'm like, now
I'm
what's the? And
scared.
they're like, "Hi, Quinn." And I look, and I'm like, huh. I recognize one of them immediately. So when I did Les Mis, which you'll remember all the way back from the high school episode,
Yep, yep. The lights
they
turned
had
off.
like actual children come in and play Gavroche, Little Cosette, and like, is there another? Yeah, that's the kid roles. But yeah, so this girl and this boy split the role of Gavroche, and then they were both there, and they were literally in the 6th grade when they did Les Mis,
Oh
and
no.
now they're sophomores in high school.
That's actually crazy.
Yes.
And they recognized you?
Yes. Oh yeah. No, because I was
Whoa.
really like I was close with the one when we did Les Mis because he was like my little like buddy.
Aw.
We would like hang out together. So I liked his vibe. Um
I like the sixth graders vibe.
Never mean to, I don't want to say that. Like, it just sounds weird. It just
Yeah,
sounds weird
no.
because I'm like anyway. In like
We
a
can
in
move
like a
on.
cool, like, oh my God, kids aren't insufferable way and not in like a weird way. I was talking to them after they did their performance, and it was just like it gave me a little bit of a crisis because it's like, holy shit, you look up and 5 years have gone by, you know?
I know.
It's crazy actually. And like, because I feel like you don't notice it when you are in yourself because you just live as yourself every day. You look at yourself in the mirror every day and you don't notice the changes really.
The time has gone by.
Yeah, you don't
Exactly.
notice like the time, like, but like then when you see someone you haven't seen in 5 years who was like under 5 feet when you first met them, and now they're like, pushing six and like in high school,
Whoa.
it's like, oh my God,
Yeah.
like time really had, and then you think about like, oh, well, what has happened in that time? And oh, that feels like it went quick. And like
Mm-hmm.
all this shit, like it brings up all that shit, and it's just like, ugh.
Yeah. No, it's crazy that well, I am coming up on my 5-year high school reunion.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
Is your like do people like do reunions? Will that
I
be
don't
like a thing
know.
you get invited to?
So here's the thing. Like people say that Parkland reunions happen all the time. Ha I don't understand how they're organized.
Maybe
'Cause-
Facebook? That feels like a Facebook thing.
So the school, our grade's president, is
Uh-huh.
gonna go and find 1,000 people on Facebook and set that up. That
I
seems
don't know.
crazy to me.
Sometimes people don't have things to do and they like can do that kind of thing.
I guess so.
Like some people are into that. But also high school reunions just like aren't really a thing in general anymore because everybody has social media.
Well, that's kind of true. So you don't really need to be reunionized.
Yeah. But yeah, I did have to have a little crisis to myself about that on Sunday night because I'm like, where's the time going? And
It
as
is
somebody
really
who's
scary.
increasingly questioning my place in the world and, what's gonna happen in the future, it wasn't a great thing to have like such a visceral, or maybe it was, but like it was just a very interesting thing to have a like such a
Sure.
visceral um
Old head moment.
manifestation of like time passing.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and so yeah.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah, it truly, truly was. But it was nice to see. It was nice to see the kids.
Okay, good.
Um, but anyway, and then I was like thinking about like it made me understand my parents in a different way because it's like, oh my God, like this must be how like my mom feels about. But like it's weird because like I came out of her. Like that must add like a whole other layer to that.
I can't I can't even grasp the fact that my mom borned me.
Mama who bore me.
Like
How'd she get that head out? Gadungunch.
she barely did. Remember I gave her that rare disease?
Oh my God, really? I watched a
My head
childbirth
was
on
so big.
YouTube the other week.
By yourself for fun?
No, I was in a group of people.
For fun?
Yeah, kind of. Like it was just that, when gay people hang out and it gets to that phase of like everybody shows each other YouTube videos, like
Okay, yeah,
it was
yeah, yeah.
during
Yeah.
that.
Okay, gotcha.
And
Yeah,
it wasn't
I
as bad as I
miss
was expecting it to be, honestly. Like I wasn't as like grossed out by it. The woman
I
was
like
so chill. I think it's because she had an epidural.
was it the Miracle of Life one?
No.
Okay, because like they show that in 7th grade, but I like my I don't know. I had a field trip that period, but I came back as soon as everyone had just watched it,
Hmm.
and my one friend cried.
I never watched a childbirth in school.
I'm sure that I'm sure that I don't want to watch it.
I
I know that.
was surprised. Anyway, but Becca,
Yeah, what?
what are you up to this week? Looking too cool for school in your little shades.
My God. Well, thank you. I did have to laugh to myself at one point when I looked at myself and I was completely still and I was like, I could fully be asleep and no
Asleep,
one
yeah.
would know. Like, that's so funny. But okay, so this is something that you did manifest without even knowing it. Um, you mentioned how me at Ulta, I am arming the cashiers with firearms,
Hmm.
making what was it, amulets you said to protect
Talismans.
talismans to protect from psychic attacks.
Hmm.
Well, get this.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so I always wear this necklace with a 111 on it, my angel numbers.
Hmm.
111 is like intuition, guidance, protection, whatever.
Hmm.
I'm helping a customer at work, and of course, her coupon is not working. What happens right then? Boom. My my angel number necklace breaks and falls off my neck and I catch it. And both sides of the chain, there's no missing link, both sides of the chain are completely closed. I have to believe that I was psychically attacked. The necklace did its duty in protecting me, and then it broke. It had to leave me because that's what they do when they do their job is they leave you.
Oh
So
my God.
I actually have
Do you
to
have to
get
get
a
a
new
new
one.
necklace? Yeah.
Yeah. And this happened. I'd like to remind you that this happened to my old roommate, not Macy, the other one. I was explaining to her, she has an Italian horn, which is the same thing as like an evil
Yes. Hmm.
eye, or yes, you're familiar. I had explained to her the night before an incident what all this meant, like it protects you, whatever. Then this night, we're sitting on the couch watching a film, if you will, a film.
A phlegm.
And
A phlegm.
what do we see but a man staring into our apartment, like with his hands on our window, like this, staring at us on the
Oh
couch.
no.
And
Oh no.
so, yeah,
See. Oh no.
yeah, yeah.
See. No.
And that lasted for about a minute, and we froze in fear. We did not know what to do. He eventually walked away, but we were really, really scared, and that sucked. And we slept with bats in our hands, and locked the door so many times. But we wake up in the morning after that, and she's like, Becca, I can't find my Italian horn. Guess what is broken on the couch? Yeah.
That's crazy.
No, I was like, how did I just tell you all about this? And then it broke and protected us.
Oh my God. So one day this little bracelet will break and it'll have protected me. That's crazy.
Yeah, and you're gonna have to get a new one then.
I know.
So I
Well,
have
I
a
have
little,
then I'll have to start wearing this all the time.
exactly. Hey, if that thing, you lost it and it traveled all the way around the world back to you, it's pretty strong right now.
Hmm.
So I would keep wearing that ring.
Key part one.
Exactly. But yeah,
They have
so
these all. I didn't really understand the evil eye before going to Greece, and they have them literally everywhere.
yeah,
Like Southern Europe, they're very into their little protections. And
absolutely.
similarly to how the horns are everywhere in Italy.
Yep. No, it's
Um,
like
because that
we
was something
do
I didn't
need.
remember from the last time I was in Italy. Also, Simona Tabasco, who one of the breakout stars of White Lotus season 2, she's one of the
Mhm.
Italian ladies. She has a horn tattoo, like right on her wrist.
So they say you're not supposed to get stuff like that tattooed because if it's bouncing off and like sucking off, if
It'll
it's
suck it into
sucking up,
you.
yeah, all the bad energy that it's like protecting you from, like
Simona,
it, yeah. So you shouldn't get angel numbers tattooed on you, and you shouldn't get an evil eye tattooed on you. You shouldn't get Italian horn tattooed on you.
I feel like I've been seeing angel numbers like a lot in my life.
I see them all the time. I've really been seeing 333 a lot lately.
And I don't know if it's like confirmation bias or not. Like if I was one of the, like, because we're all taught to be so cynical. I literally have I wrote this whole like journal entry that I was reading back today, back in like July, about how we're all like taught to be cynical. And at
Mm-hmm.
one point I wrote that cynicism is like scar tissue for creative or like the law, like cynicism is like the scar tissue for the loss of our innocence or like the loss of our creativity or something like
Oh,
that.
oh my
Um,
God.
and so like we're all taught to be so cynical. So like it's like whenever I see angel numbers, it's like whenever I'm like, oh, I saw an angel number, always that person in the back of my head is like, oh well, it's confirmation bias. And it's
Just let yourself have fun.
like because so many people have told me that. Most of them men, let's just say it.
Yeah.
Um,
Boo.
well, actually, one day them, and I do have to call them to power right now, or call them to task rather.
Ooh,
They
okay.
weren't a they them then though, so I don't know about all that.
Okay, that probably
Anyway,
had something to do with it.
and you're on my list.
Boom.
And so, Becca, what else? You do have something else written in the outline, which I do have to say.
Yeah.
Becca and I are really starting to slay like a whole other. My version of MPJ is what goes on in the outline. Like when I tell Becca, like, oh, I made the outline for this week's episode, and like she updates it, it's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
Because
agree.
it always makes me immediately excited to film the episode.
I know. I'm like, wow, I'm really rearing up to talk about these things. I did write. Becca must defend Ariana Grande at every turn.
Uh-huh.
Because so what happens is her new fragrances just released.
Oh, really?
And so I got them immediately, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
The
Employee
amount of
discount.
exactly. And the amount of frankly bullies I've had to fend off,
Because you
my
smell.
coworkers specifically. No, I smell so good, but guess what? They hate them because they're like, they don't last. They smell the same as the other ones. Let me get this little oddly shaped ball full of alcohol and fucking flowers and let me spray it on myself every 2 to 3 hours. That's fine.
Literally.
Like her scents are so cute. So I just but I don't know. And then people are like, you are just saying you like them because you like her. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm allowed
That
actually.
yeah, that is definitely part of it. I cannot
That's a fine
deny.
thing. It's okay.
Exactly. Like I love her and I'm gonna get her fragrances. Because you know what I saw my mom do in 2011?
What'd you say?
Buy up every single Britney Spears fragrance in the Kohl's in
Mm.
the 18104 zip code.
Yeah, baby.
She had them all because she was gonna smell like her favorite girl.
Yeah, exactly.
It's something I saw my own mother do, and so it has been
Literally.
passed into me.
No, it's like when I watch like House Labs video to see what the like I won't like I haven't bought any House Labs products, but like I'll watch the
Guess
videos
who
and be like,
has? My
you?
mom.
Oh, your mom?
A lot. A
But
lot of her
it
lip
sounds like they're at
glosses.
least good products, you
Yeah,
know?
oh, for sure.
And so but I'm doing like quality control because I have to see what I'm up against. Um
So true.
it's like when
So true.
I have to buy a ticket to that second Joker movie, which means I might have to watch the first Joker movie.
Fuck.
Oh, that
Exactly.
was a
I'm
bad
gonna
day
have to
for that
listen
was
to
a bad.
Wicked.
I did not buy a ticket to Top Gun Maverick.
Me neither.
I didn't do all that. It's not that serious. Oh my God.
Okay. Holy shit. So, do you think we're caught up?
I do.
Okay.
I will have to
Okay.
find time on this podcast to talk about Joey Graceffa's puppy mill. Like I do, because
Okay.
I so badly want to bring that to the people, but
Can it be like a secondary jump scare? Because I do want to hear about it.
maybe. All right,
I've twisted your arm.
maybe.
I've run you around the room.
Yeah, maybe.
All
Okay.
right. Okay.
Well, Beck and I are going to throw to a little break, and then we will be back to get into today's topic.
Guys, I'm scared.
Oh, dang, Garnet! Oh my
Oh,
God,
that
thought there
hurt.
was a snake in my boot. Um, but yeah, now we're back,
Perfect. Yeah.
and guys, super exciting news actually. If you remember, all the way 3 months ago, things were so different. For me at least. But
Yeah. Hey, wait a minute.
wait a minute. Things were very different 3 months ago. And if you like think about the calendar, every 3 months we kind of go through what's called a season change.
So they say.
Which
At least for
usually
now.
for now, even some places it's like,
Yeah.
um, but usually a season change, which we'll tell our children about one day because they'll just be like sweating all the time.
Yeah. Eternal summer.
And like it's when, the temperatures change up, the foliage starts to change.
Mm-hmm.
Um certain animals say, you know what, fuck this world, I'm leaving.
I'm going to bed.
Yeah. Um or in the case of like mosquitoes or flies, whole generations die out completely.
Yeah, which
And
is
so
fantastic.
yeah, we had a reprieve from that. But with the seasons changing, backed by popular demand, Becca and I are going to provide you with another ins and outs list for the winter
OMG.
time.
Yay.
And actually a fun surprise by Becca's begging, actually,
Yeah.
is that we are each going to submit 4 of each category, meaning we're going to do 8 for in, 8 out, which means 16 overall. So we're expanding the list a little bit from when we did it in the fall.
Yeah.
Because we said, what do these episodes need? They need to be longer, actually. And so we're delivering
It's
that
our
to you
one
today.
issue.
It's one thing we get
Short.
consistently.
Oh
And so Becca, I would nothing would make me happier than for you to start us off.
my God, thank you.
Um, and what do you think is coming in for the winter?
Well, thanks for asking. I started with the soft one,
Mm-hmm.
something that's sweet and I believe in.
Uh-huh.
And that is ski wear everywhere. Babe, have you seen me stomping around my moon boots? Like Trisha
Yes.
Paytas's fucking daughter, who has matching moon boots to me? Because what am I if not Malibu
Malibu
Barbie's
Barbie.
predecessor?
Tether.
Tether, human tether. Exactly.
You are what lives under the ground while she thrives in the light.
It's so true. Look at me now. Um, yeah, so I just think like earmuffs in the in the warmest of situations right now that you can be in even
Uh-huh.
do it. If you have like one of those ski jumpsuits that swishes around and makes you sound like a gym teacher when you walk, do that. Wear that. Grocery shopping, do it.
Hmm.
Like I just think ski wear is so cute and it usually comes in like bright colors.
Yeah.
So you better pop your pussy and do that.
I have to second this because I was looking through one of my favorite places to shop is actually the closets in my house of other people.
Of
Um
course.
and I did find something in the closet the other day that was like this little fur kind of like scarf thing. That's very après ski. It is
Ooh.
faux fur though. Let's
Okay,
dispel
good.
that real quick. It's acrylic.
Perfect.
Um, but yeah. And
Oh my
I
God.
am trying to figure out where to wear that and hopefully get a can of tomato soup thrown on me.
Well, now everywhere.
And I just wore that, although the stole is more royal, less ski. But ski, yeah, ski is a good aesthetic.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's my number one.
Hmm.
Quinn, I'm dying to hear what you have as number one.
Oh my God. I've really been reflecting on this. This has been on my in and out list. Like I've started doing the in and out list for the winter pretty much as soon as we got off the call for the fall. Um,
Okay,
and because that's our job. That's our job
perfect. Yeah.
ultimately. And I'm
Yeah.
working. I'm at work every day trying to figure out.
I have never clocked out.
A lot of people say I'm unemployed, but that's not true. Um,
It's not the
in the
truth,
eyes of the
Ellen.
state, maybe. Look, maybe.
Can't
But
speak on it.
actually, one of the most beautiful things, and a lot of people like to, something about the winter, seasonal affective disorder is so real because
Yeah.
if you wake up at 11, it might as well be like you just didn't wake up at all because then you have 3 hours of daylight left and
Mm-hmm.
it just becomes really depressing. But there's a silver lining to the night falling so early in the winter, and that is a motherfucking winter sunset.
Oh, the
I
colors.
don't know what it like. There is probably a scientific reason why winter sunsets are the moment, but
Yeah.
like,
They're so red.
yes, it's just like everything. Maybe it's because they're
Yeah.
earlier in the day, like when we're doing our little tasks still, but it's
Hmm.
like it. Winter sunsets are like the most beautiful. They put the most beautiful light on everything. Like,
Exactly.
I love
Oh
them.
my God, I totally forgot. I during a sunset the other day, I literally saw my first UFO. Speaking of aliens.
Oh my God, or UAP as they're now being referred to as.
Well, it's true, but it was like disappearing and then reappearing, and there was no clouds like or anything. It was crazy.
Have you ever seen a shooting star?
Yeah, many times actually.
I've never actually.
Yeah, I was at Girl Scout camp when I saw my first one, and this nerdy ass girl beside me had to ruin the moment. I was like, shooting star. And she was like, actually, it's a meteorite. I'm actually. And I was like, shut up.
I hope you pushed her in the lake you were probably by at that moment.
I pushed her in the grass, which she was allergic to. It's true. All right.
um, No, like this was the sunset behind my house the other day. I don't know if you'll
It's
be
so
able to see
pretty.
it. But like it was
I
like,
can see it.
yeah, like it was honestly winter sunsets in general, like the sunset is something the sun like I've been trying to be like more open to nature and stuff, and the sunset is something that makes me happy to be alive whenever I see it.
Yeah. Well, what's also good about the winters, if you wake up not even that early because there's so much darkness, you can
Uh-huh.
catch a nice sunrise
Yeah.
as
Yeah, I
well.
remember for high school I would wake up and it would be like dark outside.
Exactly. And on the way to school, maybe you would see the crack of light.
That is one of my favorite things though, like when you're going somewhere really early and it's like still dark out.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's something about
Sick.
that sensation I love.
Yeah, I love being like awake when
Even
the
though
world
I
isn't.
hate waking up early. Anyway,
Exactly.
that's one
Double-edged
of the things I
sword.
detest most. It's a perma out. That'd be another good episode if we did perma
From
ins.
out. I love that kind of actually.
Um
A negative stand list. All
yeah. We
right.
already well, kind of the problematic faves. The hate list. No, that was actually I got several when we did the stand list, I got several requests to do like a hate list.
That's smart though.
Yeah. People were like, oh, can and by people I mean one person approached me and said, you need to do like the we don't stand list.
And I think they're right actually,
Which the
but I hadn't
problematic faves
thought
is like a
about it.
version of that. Problematic faves is like on probation a little bit. Um,
Yeah, it's a wait list.
yeah. The girls are waiting. Anyway. So Becca,
Interesting.
what is your second in?
Okay, this is another soft one,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like it's all I want to do right now, and that
Mm-hmm.
is the act of bedazzling. Something I love to do, but something about maybe it's that winter sunset and the winter
Uh-huh. The
light.
light catches. Yeah.
Yeah, it really, I just
If
want
you wear something
everything to be
rhinestoned, like,
sparkly.
yeah.
It's
If you wear
everything. It's
something
everything.
rhinestone from like 4 to 5 p.m., you're gonna be best believe you're still bejeweled when you walk in the room. You can
Room
still make the whole place shimmer.
shimmer, so they say. Yeah, and it's like now that it's too cold to do things outside, you can
Uh-huh.
spend all day in your room bedazzling all your things. It's
Literally.
perfect. It's a perfect task.
Yeah, clothing customization is truly so fun.
It doesn't even have to be just clothing.
Yeah.
I bedazzle anything
Yeah, your
that
eyes
will allow
is one
me.
thing I think of.
Yeah, it's true. Thank you.
We can't see them today, but
No.
um
Hopefully you will see them once again.
maybe we will get to see them in the future one day.
I'll
Um yeah.
have to pray.
I do need to have things that are more like sparkly. That is one thing where I feel like I lack sometimes is sparkle. Like
You
that
should come over.
texture. Come over. We'll bedazzle.
Come
Do you
over.
have a
Yeah.
machine you bedazzle with? Or do you like how do you prefer to
I
bedazzle?
have great question. I have many modes. I have loose rhinestones with E6000
Yeah.
glue.
Mm-hmm. The
That
E6000.
takes, yep, it takes a minute to do that. And then I have these nifty sheets that you can get from the craft store that are all adhesive
Mm-hmm.
and they're just like little rhinestones with that you cut the shape of the thing you're wrapping.
Mm-hmm.
And then it has adhesive on the back and it all stays one
Which
piece.
the mic has.
It's true. It's true. I cannot lie. That's how I did her from that sheet. And it's perfect.
You've done your vape pen one time,
Yes, Brittany,
Brittany. Shout out to her.
my pen. Love her. Um, what else? Pretty much everything. A lot of stuff is bedazzled. A lot, actually. And I'm scared.
A lot of it is scary, actually.
Terrified. Yeah. But, Quinn, that leads me
Mm.
to asking you, what the hell's on your next thing?
So Becca, were kind of close to this with one of your recent purchases,
Ooh,
but I've had them. They were so in that I actually featured them in a short story I've been writing, and by been writing, I mean I wrote like the first 5 pages or something, 5 months ago, and then haven't like done anything significant since. So to me,
perfect.
that's writing actually.
Yeah,
And so
it's
my
ongoing.
second in is actually chunky black boots.
Ooh. Oh, I love chunky boots. You know that.
Yes, the moon boot is a little chunky.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, and like there's something about it being a chunky black boot. I think because like the sleekness of the black does take a little bit of the chunk out of it, and so it just becomes like this more kind of like streamlined thing
Hmm.
that I just really enjoy. It's one of the items of clothing I'm manifesting right now for myself is that a pair of chunky black
Ooh.
boots will come into my life. With a heel.
Yeah.
I do want one with a heel because I guess you could say my Doc Martens are a chunky black boot. They're more of a combat boot. And my Doc Martens, I don't think I've worn them since I sprained my ankle in them in the month of April.
Oh.
So
Oh yeah. I still have to break in my docs, and it's been years.
yeah. Um
I love those Steve Madden, like they have the huge soles and they're
uh
like a platform heel as well.
yeah, I do
I love
include
those.
like yeah, I do want it to be platform. Like ideally I do want it to be platform. And I also really want like the kind of like futuristic like black chunky sneakers that like
Yeah,
I feel like it would be listed on like a Doll's Kill, but it's like kind of cyberpunk, kind of techno, like something. Like I love
absolutely.
those whenever I see them.
I was gonna say anything dolls kill, anything demonia. It's gonna be great.
Hmm. But
Guys,
yeah,
curb stomp all
you do need
winter.
it. It just you need to wear a shoe around where you if you gave a kick to somebody like a little swift kick, you could do some damage,
Yeah, they would need to go to the ER
and that's
at
what a chunky
least.
black boot can actually do.
Yeah, for you and others.
Hmm.
Protect your community.
Hmm. But yeah, Becca, what is next for you that's in?
Okay, you might be glad to hear this because it's something that I really recently started liking.
Hmm.
And so therefore it's in. And that is red wine. I used to be such a Chardonnay
Yeah, yeah,
champagne
actually.
girl. Red wine? Babe, a Pinot Noir? Are you kidding?
A
It's so
Merlot?
good. Yeah,
Yeah,
like get a
yeah,
grip.
actually.
Fantastic.
Yeah, something about me, something really important to my lore that I believe we talked about on this podcast before is that my mother started having me drink wine very young.
Hmm.
Um, and now like I do have a very big connection to red wine. And now
Yeah,
that I'm
when you
back
were
home,
just 5 years old, coffee to wake you up, wine to go to bed in a sippy cup.
I did see these napkins when me and my friends were at a winery and they were like, life is what happens between coffee in the morning and wine at night. It said something to that effect, and I was like, I need that.
Me at 8.
Me me in the second grade. But yeah, yeah. Yeah, I love red wine.
It's so
And
good.
it's interesting because we're on opposite kind of journeys here because I do feel myself becoming more okay with like a white wine.
Okay, fair enough. And I
It
welcome
just
you to it.
yeah, it just can't be too sweet for me.
That's the thing is I really don't like sweet, which I know that a lot of white is known to be sweet, but
Mm.
I've
I
always
just
been
like
more of a champagne girl.
yeah, I need to be dry. I do like a sparkling wine as well because
Yeah,
you can't
dry.
be like bubbles add so much to things. Like carbonation really
Exactly.
does add so
So
much.
fun. So fun. But what red wine gives you that sexy little lip tint too. It's like,
Yeah.
ooh,
It also
isn't
makes you
just
feel sexy.
wine.
Also just like the notes.
Exactly.
Like I do like one of my goals for my life actually, maybe when I have the space to take on another hobby because I have been doing well with my hobbies lately. Photography. I'm a hobbyist
Ooh,
photographer. Um
amazing.
but one of my like things, one of my like, niche interests I want to like cultivate a little bit more is being like an amateur sommelier, like knowing things about wine. I
Mm,
think that would be super chic. I think that would be a great next move for me, actually.
that'd be cool. Yeah, put it on the list.
Literally, put it on the list of things I need to do.
I have a list of things I need to do.
Yeah, that's anyway.
We could, it's a
We
different
we could talk
episode.
about that.
Oh, we could talk about it.
We could talk about something I've been thinking about, all the things I need to do. Anyway.
Exactly.
Um,
So, red one, very in. But,
yes.
Quinn, what is your number 3 for ins?
My number
I
three
must
for
know.
ins, I did have to write down a different note really quickly, but now I'm back. And this is one of the things I'm actually so excited to share. This actually came to me last week,
Perfect.
and I intellectualized a whole thing about it, and I'm so excited to share this on the podcast because I can't sit alone with my thoughts anymore. But my
Yeah.
third in is actually being corny. Like corniness as a concept, I think is so in right now.
Oh my God.
As I
This is
said to
so
Becca,
brave.
something that I find so funny right now is saying it's my Friday. And
No,
it's soon to become one of those things that like I will start by saying it ironically, but it will become a fully earnest thing very soon.
did you see that list of white people of vernacular they should use
Yes,
more?
yeah, exactly. Oh, like
Newsflash, buddy.
newsflash, buddy, I'm gonna give you a piece of my mind. That's another thing I like remember this. Why don't people say that more? Oh, I'm gonna give him a
Literally.
piece of my mind. Like,
Uh, also,
sir. Like someone says that to
first
me,
one
I'm
on the
scared of
list.
what's gonna happen next.
Oh, I'm horrified, but I'm also excited and tittillated.
Uh-huh.
But the first one on the list, that's rich coming
No,
from you.
I was trying to think of that one. That's rich coming from you.
That is so funny. Like
Like, could you
things that
imagine if you
Jennifer
said that to
Coolidge has
somebody
said.
in
Yeah,
the heat of the
no,
moment?
things that Jennifer
Oh,
Coolidge have been paid to say. And that's rich coming from you.
that's rich coming from you. Oh well.
Ah,
Oh
so
well,
funny.
he kind of was fucking his uncle. Um.
Okay,
Anyway, spoilers for White Lotus
perfect.
season 2, I guess. Anyway,
That's okay. It's
but
okay.
no, and then so I was thinking about being corny, and I realized that there's a cycle, right? Because what did we talk about being? It wasn't an official in and out, but what did Becca and I talk about a lot in the beginning of this podcast? Earnestness.
Yeah.
I think there was an earnestness going on when, or like earnestness was very in.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I believe we're like through that little stage of earnestness in our society. And now we're coming to the phase of like, what's the natural progression from being earnest? Like, you're so used to being like upfront, forthcoming with your emotions that now you need to like kind
Build
of
those walls back up.
editorialize them. No,
Okay.
no, no, no. We're
Okay.
not at that stage
Okay.
yet. You need to
Okay.
editorialize them. You need to like normalize, like you realize people feel the same things. And so you start to use it to relate to people. And I believe that's kind of what being
Oh.
corny is about, Like,
Oh.
oh, did you see the game last night? Very corny phrase. Oh, what'd you get up to this weekend? Oh, any big plans for the weekend? Like something
Oh,
somebody you
yes.
work with and keep at arm's length would say to you in an acceptable fashion to me.
It's like when I tell people to leave my register of customers by saying, go enjoy that weather,
Exactly.
even if it's
Exactly.
raining out, because I'm
Exactly.
funny.
Exactly. And
Okay.
so
I'm so with you now.
earnestness leads to corniness. And then of course corniness inspires a certain backlash, which is irony.
Ah,
And so then people like me and Becca who are spoilers, we will like start to make fun of people who are being corny. And that's kind of our role
yeah.
to play in society.
Yeah. We're the jokesters.
Yes, jokesters, jesters even. But
Yes, yeah.
then even ironic little fucks like us, like we need to be humbled a little bit. And so that's when the earnest crowd comes back and they're like, guys, you're doing too much. And then the whole
Yeah.
cycle repeats. And so I believe we're just in a cycle of earnestness, corniness, irony.
Whoa. Whoa.
I was about to say like I was trying to say like I
Irony.
couldn't decide if I wanted to say ironic or irony, and so I just said both. Um
Irony.
yeah,
Swear I did not cheat on Sam that night at Karma.
irony. It's I Tanya remake, but it's about Ronnie from Jersey Shore instead of Tanya Harding.
Fuck.
It's a reskin of I Tanya
Irony.
with Ronnie from Jersey Shore. Um
Reskin. Oh my God.
and so yeah, but that's the cycle I believe we're all ultimately caught in and subject to as human beings. And I believe right now we're being corny.
I think our
So
fingers
live,
on the
laugh,
pulse.
love. It's your Friday. Wear like a namaste bitches tank top to places.
Yes. My kids have paws.
Oh, yes. Ray Dunn, huge during this time, actually.
Oh yeah. She's back.
Go out to your local Home Goods and buy some Ray Dunn apparel.
Mm-hmm.
Some Magnolia Home even, exclusive to Target.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
buy the they them mug from Target.
Do it.
Buy
I
your pronoun
literally
mug
dare
from
you.
Target, actually.
Pronoun mug.
And just have fun
Exactly.
out there, guys. Just have fun
Exactly. Be
because it will
safe,
come
of
to an end one
course.
day. But right now we're being corny.
Yeah.
And you know what? When you're listening to this, it's your Friday.
And I truly believe that,
Uh,
mostly because this was released on a Friday.
but yeah. So Becca, what? Oh my God, we're kind of whipping through this, but what is your
It's going
last
great.
in, actually?
Okay, this one may be a little bit controversial, but I'm ready. I'm
And I'm
ready to
so
defend
excited by
it.
that, actually.
Something I find myself doing too often that I don't know. I've just realized is kind of a pattern.
Hmm.
My last in is cursing in front of children. Yeah, I just feel
Yeah.
I just feel as though there's no need to filter myself.
No. Free speech radicalist over here.
Exactly. And listen, this is a pet peeve of mine. Some people curse and it doesn't come naturally to them.
Hmm.
I feel like I'm a natural cursor. Like
Exactly.
it's not going to sound weird coming out of my mouth. Like I'm
Hmm.
not going to emphasize it. It's just going to be part of my sentence. And if a child is has ears on that, okay, they probably just learned something interesting.
Exactly.
Like I don't understand why cursing is like not for kids.
Yeah, I am somebody who I love to talk to children like I would talk to anybody else.
Yeah,
Like it's all like even if I know the child is not going to understand what I'm saying, I still say it to them.
exactly.
And that's with big words too. I love using big words around kids. Like I love using like SAT words around kids because it's so funny.
You're
Like
developing their brains at
could
an
you imagine saying the
exponential
word
rate.
like could you imagine like if a kid wanted to do something and you're like you don't think it's a good idea and you're like, "Oh, little Benny, that's like superfluous what you want to do actually."
They probably explode.
He probably shit
But
himself right in front of me. And then I have to clean it up because I'm the adult in the situation.
and it was stink
Um
and I got it on my hands and oopsie doopsie.
but at least I had a
And
good
if
ass time, you know?
exactly. But if we would have just normalized cursing in front of children or also just saying big words in front of them,
Yeah,
they would acclimate and their
exactly.
brains would develop.
No, and I think the only way you can truly be a natural cursor when you grow up is if your parents cursed around you as a child.
That is true. My mom definitely did.
Oh, yeah, my parents did. We're Irish. Come on. It's part of the culture,
Yeah,
babe. And that's another thing. It's cultural.
it's true. It's true.
Something funny I do with cursing is like, if I'm ever like, and I do get this directly from my mother, is if I'm ever like struggling with something or I'm like frustrated, like if I was like, for instance, like I couldn't get my shoe untied for like
Mm-hmm.
a long time, I'd go like, motherfucker. I'm that person. And my friend Ian like
Yeah.
always points he's like, that's one of my favorite things when you're like really annoyed and you just go like fucker, like something like that. And that is like exactly my mother.
Love that. My dad is one of those like he'll always go for like the weird one that people don't like goddamn or like what a asshole. He
Oh,
says
I call
that.
people assholes.
What a idiot, he said to people.
An asshole is like my like I'm like, oh, he's being an asshole. Like if I'm calling you an asshole, I'm like
I like ass hat a lot.
not messing around. Yeah, that's a fun one.
I don't
Fuckwad.
know. I feel like fuck is just my favorite one. Like I just say it all the time.
It's a
Something I never
popular one.
say is shit. Unless I'm talking about like poop shit.
Also, we need to talk about someone having a word having a renaissance, and it's still like I'm not even sure if I should say this on the podcast, but like cunt is having a huge renaissance, I feel right
Oh
now.
yeah, I love cunt.
Yeah. Because I feel like it's become positive. Like it's crossed over to like we've appropriated cunt like the use of cunt in like ballroom, and so now
Mm-hmm.
we're just like, oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, cunty, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so But I feel like with like saying like cunty, it's like started to like come back and be like, oh, now we can, and now people just feel more comfortable like saying it, I feel.
Yeah. No, it definitely was a little dicey there for a second. But people, I don't know. I find that people who I've met adults who are like, I don't know, like curse words just make me uncomfortable. And I'm like, so you need to grow up.
I also hate when people are like, oh, cursing makes you sound like unprofessional and like, and I'm like, I don't care.
I'm not gonna write it in an email, but I'm gonna say it to everyone I know
Yeah,
at
at
work
work.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm like, literally, I'll look at my manager, be like, that was fucking weird. And
I
we
never
we
cursed
have a
on tour.
laugh
I don't
about
think
it.
I ever cursed on tour when I was in my college tour guide days,
Oh.
which is kind of surprising because I would just go on autopilot sometimes. Like I would just go somewhere else in my brain while I was saying words. So I could have said anything really.
Anything could come out of my mouth.
And I do know
Exactly.
people who were like, full, like they would come back and they're like, guys, I accidentally like dropped like an F bomb during my tour today, and I'm like, as long as nobody figures it
It's
out,
me.
who cares?
It doesn't matter. Exactly.
Um, but
So
yeah,
yeah, cursing's in, especially in front of the youth. Grow those
and I would
brains.
even say like putting curses on people is very in.
Oh, for sure.
Like saying a pox on your house. Like what?
Like slay
Bro,
on, guys.
slay on, girl.
Kitty
Blessed be, kitty girl.
girl. Kitty cunt. Okay. So, Quinn, what is your last in then?
I feel like these beings that I have on my list have just been reviled for so long. And I feel like I drank the Kool-Aid and I had hive mind and I was just like, okay, yeah, I hate them too. But actually, I'm starting to understand them in a new way and I'm starting to understand their entertainment value.
Okay.
And that is the seagull. I think seagulls are so in, actually.
Oh, not the play.
No.
Okay.
The play
The
is like
bird.
whatever. I mean, they gave us the phrase
Yeah.
Chekhov's gun, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But no, I'm talking about a physical, like actual seagull. What the animal that they named after the play.
Thank you for that.
Yeah,
Um,
but yeah, the little white
fascinating.
birds, they're usually found by the sea.
Yep.
Um, a lot of people like to call them vermin. I don't. I think they're very entertaining. The thing that really sold me is the seagulls, if you spend enough time around them, they'll do this thing where they like wind up, they throw their necks back, and then they just like fucking start screaming.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I relate to that
No.
so much, and I so enjoy that you can connect to something like that. Like I become very
Yeah.
envious of the seagull in that moment.
No, and something that they are that I definitely am is needy.
Oh, 1,000%.
They need things and they need it all the time.
Another thing I relate to the seagulls with is I will eat a fry off of any surface.
Yeah. And then I was gonna say I have video footage of you doing that on every surface known to man.
See, I don't even know. I like I could ask if that's for real or not, but like I see that for myself really.
It is my deepest truth.
Yeah. No, in my whenever I get my film developed from like my trip, like there will be pictures of seagulls on there.
What's that? They have a really famous quote from a movie. Um, the seagulls. There's a group of them in this film,
The
Finding
squim.
Nemo.
Oh, yeah.
But what do they say? Do they
Mine,
say
mine, 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 mine.
mine, mine? And I think if Charlie XCX put her mind to it, she could make an incredible sampling of that.
Yeah. Oh my God. When they do the live action Finding Nemo and Charlie XCX plays all the seagulls
Plays all the seagulls.
and they're like
You play
hyper pop
Darla.
eagles. Oh my God. Yeah. 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 Actually.
Exactly.
No, there's also Scuttle from Little Mermaid.
Oh
Wonderful stuff.
yeah.
Hawk,
That dumb
human
motherfucker.
stuff. A dingle hopper. He's very much me coded in that he just makes shit up. Like
Yeah, he makes up names for everything,
this
just
is a
like you,
dingle
Quinn.
hopper, and he says it like it's the most obvious thing in the world, actually. And Ariel is stupid for not knowing it,
Exactly.
and that's what I love about her.
And that is how you carry yourself.
Aquafina, unfortunately, she's out very much, I feel. But she will be playing Scuttle in the movie, so I guess we'll all have to experience that.
Oh, yeah. I'm not an
Um,
Aquafina fan, really.
I'm like neutral on her. But yeah. And so that's what's in, and I think that's an
What a
amazing list
mix.
actually.
Yeah. How fun.
It's gotten somehow more unhinged than fallen, and we haven't even gotten to the outs
Somehow.
yet.
Yeah, I'm scared.
But that's a wonderful transition to Becca. What is first on your outs actually?
Okay, this is another soft one.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that I just truly am like, so I'm like, oh my God, we can't keep doing this. My first out is watching everything on Netflix.
Yeah,
Guys,
guys. Yeah,
just because
guys.
you have the subscription does not mean you are bound to watch everything they release. They release so much, and a lot of it is not that great.
Even the stuff that hits, it like isn't amazing sometimes.
Exactly.
Like everybody's obsessed with Wednesday right now, and like I do have to like appreciate Wednesday in a certain aspect because first of all, Adam's Family is very fun. Second of all,
Yeah.
it has introduced Bloody Mary back into the lexicon, which we
Uh-huh.
have to be as a little monster. I have to be grateful for. Finally, some good fucking food.
Exactly.
Back when people
And
were doing interesting things with pop music.
yeah,
Um,
Jenna Ortega is really talented, and I will eventually watch it, but I can't with like everyone talking about it and everyone just watching the same thing at the same time, and
yeah,
then
also
it
like
gets so
Emily in
annoying.
Paris is another one people always talk about, and I'm like, so people watch that? I can't take that seriously that you like
No.
are watching something like that.
Yeah,
Dahmer,
I didn't
um,
watch that.
so what's that one you told me about with Jennifer Coolidge? It's also the Ryan Murphy.
Oh, The Watcher was such a
Yeah, The
waste of time.
Watcher. People, you are right in that like everybody is always talking about what's on Netflix, but like,
Exactly.
are we ever talking about it positively? And are we talking about it positively enough?
These are questions that need to be asked.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I think that's
it's
an
annoying.
amazing take actually.
Thank you, actually. And that leads me to asking you, what the hell is your first out?
I honestly like when I was looking at my list, I'm like, is this something I want to? Because I do have an alternate for my outs that I do feel also strongly about, but like, I don't know. But I think I'm gonna stick with what I had originally. And this is
Okay.
something it's very straight coded.
Whoa.
Like it's very straight. It's perhaps one of the straightest things you could name. And that's a Henley t-shirt.
I think this is the most out thing you've ever identified.
Yeah, guys, we need to stop with this. We need to stop with the Henley t-shirt because it's just like wear a crew neck at this point. Like just wear a crew neck. Like
Yeah,
I would honestly be more impressed. There's nothing about those three little buttons that makes it more like desirable,
appealing.
more appealing. And maybe at one time it did, but now it's like when Roger Jersey Shore keeps coming up again, like how it should be, how God
So
intended.
true.
But like when Roger was wearing them in like 2012 when like Jenny had first broken up with Tom and she was exploring things with Roger like and he was wearing the Henley t-shirts like they were working for me. Like
Yeah, it was a moment in
it was a
time.
moment, but
The
for
moment
some
has
reason it's
passed.
10 years later and we're still like Henley t-shirts. And it's still like the apex of men's fashion. And it is just the epitome of like how men's fashion is so boring and menswear in
Yes.
general is just like it represents kind of everything wrong with menswear. Like we just get this one thing and then we just decide, okay, we can't innovate anymore. What have
Yep.
men been wearing for the past 200 years basically?
Cotton
Suits.
t-shirts. Oh,
Like, what does every man ever wear to an award show? A tuxedo.
yeah.
Sometimes they wear it in a different color, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, they're breaking gender roles
So
today."
brave, literally.
Somebody decided to wake up and break gender roles. The corny people who are back in,
Yeah.
they're writing BuzzFeed think pieces about that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, and the Henley T-shirt just kind of epitomizes it because we haven't had T-shirt innovation since, and straight men and even some queer mask people are running around like they are stomping the runway at Milan Fashion Week just because they're
And
wearing
those
Henley
fucking
tea
Henleys.
that they bought
Yeah.
for $15.99 on Amazon.
Mm-hmm. Or dare I say $7.99 at Walmart?
Or dare I say $30,000 at Zara.
All of it, trash.
All of it is bad and you should take it out.
Yeah.
And so yeah, don't even give it to the
Burn
Goodwill.
it.
Burn it.
Burn
Um,
it.
because even if you're shopping at Goodwill, you deserve to dress well, and that's something I believe.
Yeah,
Um,
there's good stuff at Goodwill, guys.
only give stylish stuff to Goodwill, guys. But yeah,
Give
Becca,
Goodwill a chance.
what else would you say is out?
Okay, so my next one kind of goes along with your corniness thing because
Oh,
this is a corny phrase, but I think it's something that is out, and that's being a wise guy. Being a wise guy is
yes,
so out. It's the
because
bimbofication of everything.
being a wise guy is antithetical to being corny, actually.
Exactly. You cannot be a wise guy in this society.
Yeah, not right now, at least. Like, you can't be making little side comments to yourself. That's not something that we're doing right now.
No, 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 no. You can't be that critical of anything right now, and you can't be that pessimistic about anything right now.
No, honestly, I like us comedy aside, irony aside, whatever like bits we're doing aside, I have been feeling this because I've been listening to recap podcasts recently for like shows I watch. Like I'm back in that
Hmm.
era. And something I don't like is like listening to a recap where people don't like the show, but they like still watch it, you know?
Yeah.
Like
No, I'm
like
so over
as we
that.
all know, Survivor's my favorite TV show. Survivor's going through a little bit of a flop era right now. Um,
Um, a little side note about Survivor. I have
mhm.
been crying laughing at every clip of Mike White I've seen on Survivor yet.
Oh, Becca,
Like
you need to watch
that
everybody needs to
season.
watch Survivor David versus Goliath. I've been thinking about going and watching it again because of Mike
Yeah.
White.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, it's like actually like it's an outlier in that it is a modern season of Survivor that is actually very good.
Okay,
Um
perfect.
because Survivor has been struggling a little bit, let's say.
Gotcha.
But anyway, I'll still watch. But then I
I
listened to a recap
digress.
podcast that I really like, but they're just so negative about the show that sometimes it makes me
Mm,
upset. And then there's another one for Dragula Titans, which is like Dragula, I'm starting to hate myself and now I'm starting to hate
okay.
watch it a little bit.
Gotcha.
Um and also the like reviewers kind of hate the show as well. And it's just,
Mm,
you
I don't
know,
have space for that.
I don't have
I
space
don't
for that. And like I am gonna finish it, but like after this, I'm done being a wise guy. I'm turning in my card.
exactly. Brain empty.
Yeah,
Happiness
no.
only.
No, I wish I could just be one of the I think that's why I'm like it's my Friday because I do want to be somebody who one day earnestly says like it's my Friday.
Exactly.
Hoy es mi
I
viernes for all of our Spanish listeners.
yeah, thank you.
That's the one thing they hear this episode
In
that they
sign
understand.
language, you're gonna have to log onto the YouTube and watch so I can perform the sign language for it.
Yeah, exactly. To all of our deaf listeners,
Exactly.
Ryan, love you.
Ryan, who just who yeah, just found the podcast for the first time in like many, many months.
And now he has so much to do actually to catch
Exactly.
up on
He's
it.
he's
He doesn't know
booked
he's a main
up.
character of this podcast. Like
No, literally.
he's probably the
He
person
like
we refer to most.
literally. But he was happy to find out, obviously. Um, yeah, so that's my number two. It's very important to me. Quinn, what is your number two for outs?
This one's been going out for a while, but I feel like we just have to say it because I feel like it is something that we will have to contend with, especially if this podcast, continues to grow.
Yeah.
But the ad-supported business model.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot, and I think part of the thing that sometimes like, you know, freaks me out about maybe being a person who's like tries to make it an entertainment and like be a notable like personality is
Yeah.
that I will get offers to sell things,
Yep.
and that's something I don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been uncomfortable with money in my life. Um, like I remember we used to do fundraisers in school, and like it used to be like, oh, go around and like ask people for money for like heart disease research. And I'm like, So I actually never want to ask another human being for money.
Yeah. It sucks.
Yeah, like without having to like do something for them, in return. Like just like, oh, you're collecting money for, and not that I don't want to do it, but just I feel like it's just weird. Like for me, it's not my journey. And also
Fair
I
enough.
want to be like notable and like known because I'm like talented and not just
Mm-hmm.
because I can sell things to people.
Yep.
Like it all feels so exploitative, but it is also like I had this like I was on a walk and I like had this whole like realization like ultimately that's the reason that like TV is made, right? Like because you can make that's the reason anything is made really, but like TV I'm thinking of like it's made on cable, like ABC picks up another season of Abbott Elementary because Abbott Elementary is good enough where it gets people to come in and watch it
Mm-hmm.
and they can sell advertiser space for that.
Yep.
They can sell 9 minutes per episode. And then Netflix picks up another season of Emily in Paris or Wednesday because people watch it and then like people will maybe keep their Netflix subscriptions because of it or
Yep.
something. And now also we can't be going backwards. Netflix, why are like I feel like it's every 3 months somebody's like, oh, Netflix is doing ads. Luckily I haven't seen it, but like it's gonna be a dark day if
Uh,
that ever actually happens.
That would be really annoying.
I literally pay the extra $5 a month or whatever it is to have ad-free Paramount Plus because I can't do it. Like I can't like it's not I hate watching commercials too. It's one thing about
I
me. I
know.
hate watching commercials.
I have the ads on my Hulu and it's like
It's oh my God. It's
so
like I'm
annoying.
so lucky I don't use Hulu more, but every time I use Hulu, I'm like, oh, now I know I don't watch things on Hulu.
Exactly.
And I
I've
just
been
let the company
reminded,
take $6 out of my credit card every month
literally.
in case there's
No,
something
I
I ever
think
do want to watch.
it's like I don't know. Part of me is like when I see an ad and I when I see like a creator I like, right?
Uh-huh.
Doing an ad read.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so especially on YouTube, it's kind of like no harm, no foul because you can
Yeah.
skip.
Oh yeah.
Like you can skip those. The ads like that play are really annoying, especially when they're 30 seconds and will let you skip them. But you can skip through
Hmm.
like ad reads. So I'm like, who cares then?
Yeah.
Um, but selling out is really scary.
Yeah, I almost put selling out as the like
Hmm.
official title of the out, but I also think that like we're in this cool new age where like people are genuinely like carving out their own space a little bit and like people pay for like independent stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
And like people have Patreons, people have like, and so that's something that is heartening. And that is something that like Twitter, since like Elon Musk took it over, like
Hmm.
they've like a lot of advertisers have like fled the platform. And it's like, well, if you were just like, but that's the thing, like, that's another thing that's so like cynical about it is that like when you become like ruled by ads and stuff, it leads to all this other stuff. Like that's why people like Twitter, like stuff you hate gets favored in your algorithm because it keeps you on the app longer to engage with something you hate than it does to engage with something you
Mm-hmm.
love.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's the other thing about it. Oh, also something about creator ads is that sometimes they're useful because it really does show people sell out. I will never forget when Quinn Blackwell at like the height of the Bessemer, Alabama, like Union Drive, she like did a thing. She did like paid propaganda basically for Amazon and like went into an Amazon warehouse and was like talking to workers and was like, "You love your job here, right?" And they were like, "Yeah." Like right, I saw that and I was like, "Oh, I'm in an episode of Black Mirror actually." Like,
That's crazy, actually. I never knew about that.
yeah, and so ever since then I've been like, no. like
Very
like whenever I see
weird.
one of her videos, I'm like, no, no.
Yeah. No,
Um,
it's like, I don't know. It would have to be, I know people say this all the time, but like, you would actually have to like, use the company.
that's why I saw one from Miss Nikita, who we talked about, I believe, off camera, Nikita Joy. I don't know.
Yeah.
But she's a TikToker and she does a bunch of different she's one of the most beautiful people ever, like on record, I believe.
Yeah, it's in the history books
It's in
already.
she will make history actually. But she does all this like beauty stuff. It's not like her main thing. She does a lot of different stuff actually. She's very
Yeah.
entertaining, but she did this. I saw a TikTok from her today and she got sent like this skincare like PR thing, and
Mm-hmm.
she like looked in it and she was like, "Oh, this has mica in it, like which is a certain type of ingredient." I didn't look into what that is, but apparently it makes like stuff like glowy kind of.
Right.
And she thinks it's superfluous to have in skincare. And she's like, "Oh, I always say you don't need mica in your skincare." And then she like looked at it and she's like, "Yeah, this isn't something I'm going to use on my face actually. But if you guys like took the mica out of it, I'd be happy to try it out and like put that on the internet." And I'm like,
Slay.
"Oh my God, actually."
Thank you for
Like,
that,
good for
actually.
fucking her, actually.
No, literally.
Having principles, another thing we could have said was in. We didn't, but
Maybe next season.
maybe next season having principal, maybe having principals right now is like bubbling under, and maybe so by the time spring rolls around, having principals will be like coming at the girls.
Yeah, could be.
Um,
Let's hope.
but yeah, the ad supported business model, I feel like we're past it, maybe.
I will
Um,
say the one company I would let sponsor us is that little web extension browser that gives you some coupons.
no, because she does pull through in some moments, in some particularly
Exactly.
dark moments, which
Eh,
whenever I'm spending money, it's a dark moment for me.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. I've
but
been caught.
and she but she in those moments of darkness in my life, she
She shines
sometimes
a
comes
light.
to me.
Yeah. And it's a
What
free
it
service.
How does it start? Mother Mary comes to me singing
Speak
words of
words of
wisdoms, let it
wisdom, let it
be. How does
be.
it
Let it be, let it
how does
be.
that work? How does that song start? In my time's trouble, I don't know. Anyway, but anyway,
I
Becca,
have no
what is coming
idea.
up next on your out list?
Okay, number three. This is one that again came to light recently, and that is self-reliance in a neighborhood is so out. I think
This community is so
we're
in, yeah.
yeah, we're like I said before, working our way into communal living.
Yes.
And this is like a
Yes.
stepping stone to that. I was at my good friend Neela's house the other night. She's back in America.
Shout out
Truth
to her.
bomb. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, and we were having a full-on soiree with wine, and she had no wine opener, so she texted
Ticketed
her
event.
neighbor. Exactly. Many showed up and many did
Oh,
not. But she texted her neighbor, "Hey, can I have a wine opener?" And then went and picked it up, and then like we used it. And I was like, what a Republican ass thing to do in the best way."
exactly. Yeah,
Like
looking out for your
this is
neighbor.
exactly that is the part of conservatism I can kind of get with. But yet it is the most leftist thing you could ever do.
Yeah. Community is like a horseshoe thing because everybody likes it ultimately. We
Yeah,
just have different ways of kind of like approaching it, but like
very different
ah, or
ways.
like in a classic way, like what if you were baking something and you needed like a cup of sugar and you're like, "Oh my God, I need to."
No, literally. But also like I don't know, I have like this fantasy where like I don't know, like neighborly things like are so cute. Like me and Chris
Yeah.
Evans attend like an open house for a house we're looking at, and we leave the person like baked goods and say like,
Uh-huh.
"Thanks so much for
Or
leaving
like a
your house
housewarming
open."
party.
Oh
Like
my
what?
God. Yeah,
Yeah.
a dinner
Yeah,
party and
no.
such.
No, when I do things for like my like there's we have this neighbor who we've like always been like on good terms with, and like they
Hmm.
like would always watch our dogs when we're out of town, and like a couple times this summer I like went and let their dog out during the day.
Hmm.
And it fills you with like to do something neighborly, fills you with so
It's
much
really
joy
nice.
actually.
Exactly.
But it's kind of hard because I feel like suburbia is kind of predicated on the it's suburbia is kind of oxymoronic because it's also kind of predicated on the fact that everybody has their own space.
Yeah.
Um, and that kind of makes you a little less neighborly inherently.
Well, it's
Yeah. But that's definitely something I want to do when I like the next time I live in like an apartment or something is I want to get to know my neighbors more.
Literally.
I want to know what it feels like when like a neighbor moves away and you like feel sorrow over that.
Exactly. And you get to say something corny like,
I'll miss having you
who's gonna fill
around.
those shoes? Who's gonna make that house a home?
Gonna make that
Exactly.
house a whole. I'm
Oh,
gonna make this whole a
me.
house, more importantly. You know,
Thank you.
oh yeah. Um,
But with that being
yeah.
said, Quinn, what is your next out?
And I don't want this to feel like it's a slight to you at all, Becca,
Okay, okay,
because it's something you have been talking about recently, but not in the way I'm about to present it.
okay.
But like having the plastic surgery look,
Oh,
like looking at somebody and saying, "Oh, they've had work done," or like being one of those people that goes like that like wants to look like they've had work done. That's very out to me.
so actually, get this. I'm
Hmm.
with you.
Yeah. You just want a little something.
I just want a little, like,
You just
guys,
want a little
like
bee
a
sting. Yeah.
quarter of a syringe. Like,
Yeah, no, and
I,
and that's why I felt safe to say it because I know you
yeah,
know I'm not talking about you. But
yeah.
like
We both have the same
actually
taste.
I've been stunned. That one picture, I forget if it was I think it was on Seth MacFarlane or something, but that one picture of Kim Kardashian, now that she's had like all of her implants removed and filler dissolved and all that kind of stuff,
Uh-huh.
we could talk about how psychotic that is, but like the fact that like that's what her actual body looks like is actually crazy to me because she looked like gaunt. Like she looked malnourished actually.
Yeah. No, it's like I've also, well, speaking of lips specifically,
Hmm.
I've seen so many TikToks recently, ever since I've like been researching lip filler more, of people's who are like really upset with how much they got
Uh-huh.
and like it, yeah, like it migrates, like we said, and they're just like they hate how big their lips are.
Yeah. Hmm.
It's so easy to do too much because then you get stuck in this like hole where you can't
Uh-huh.
stop. And that's what happened to a lot of
Yeah, and
celebrities.
we also have 20-year-olds. We also have like my friend Ian, like when I saw him in Pittsburgh was like, "Oh, I want to get Botox soon, but like preventative." And I'm like, "No. No, we need to stop with that actually."
Chill. Yeah.
Like, no. If you want to get
Chill.
Botox at some point in your life, like, okay, but like at least let yourself age.
Yeah.
Who said aging was in? Who said aging was in, and who are we a disciple of? Julia Fox. Exactly.
Julia.
Also, something else I need to just say really quickly is Becca and I have talked about our feelings about Good Children, the podcast, off air.
Yeah.
At least on two of their podcasts, they've mentioned Julia Fox, and then like one of the hosts made an impassioned plea for Julia to come on the podcast. First of all, like you can't take that from us,
Guys.
guys. You
Yeah,
can't
no,
take
no,
that
no,
from
no.
us. If there's a podcast that's gonna have Julia Fox on it, that's kind of indie, it's gonna be us actually.
It's gonna
And
have to be
what's our
us.
credential? Actually, is that we did a whole fucking episode on her.
Literally. Talking
This
about
is
how we love
that's
her.
over an hour of talking about we've done extensive I research into her history,
Her
her
well-being.
her fashion
Her art
line, her we know everything about her career actually.
her artistry. Yeah.
And
I
if
know
she
that
came
woman
on the
like I know my
podcast, I would
soul.
watch Uncut Gems. Like I would do that for her actually.
I'd watch it again.
Yeah,
Hell.
exactly. So, good children, step off of the Julia Fox train actually. But anyway,
Literally. Stop
and
trying.
I'm gonna warn you guys once before I come up to
It's out of
Bushwick
hand.
and
Get y'all.
bash you myself. Anyway.
Not
Um,
the
and so yeah,
Bushwick.
but this is actually really bad news for the entirety of the UK. Plastic surgery being out.
Oh yeah, they're
Because
gonna be
everybody over
fucking
there looks like this.
pissed.
Like
Come on, Tesco.
everybody
Exactly.
everybody over there looks like they had a doctor take like a loose skin on their neck and just go as hard as they could.
Yug. Yaga.
Um,
Yeah, they all got yagaed.
but yeah. Oh my God, and we're already at Becca's final
Oh
out
my
of the
gosh.
season.
Wow. It's going so well. All right, so my final out, and this is my favorite one. What is so out, and this kind of again goes with like the out of earnesty, like moving out of it,
Mm.
because what's out right now is the truth.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know it.
Lying is so fun, guys. I love to lie. I love to lie all the time. And it's just the most entertaining thing you could ever do. And guys,
Hmm.
what is stopping you from lying to people?
Hmm.
I tell people I'm 45 all the time at work.
You're lying. You do.
I do say that. I'm like, damn, I'm bored. Guess what? And then I make people guess my age. And then I tell them I'm 45. It's
That's you during the.
craziness.
Oh my God.
I convinced like all my coworkers, also this woman on a poster was my grandma. And for like a whole day I had everyone believing me.
Oh my God. I can't.
I love lying.
Yes. No, the truth is the truth. Yeah. Um, I love lying to people.
Fucking lied.
One of my favorite things to lie about is when I'm in a different city and they're like, "Oh my God," and maybe I'm at a drag show and they're like, "Whose birthday is it?"
Mine.
My hand's going up immediately.
Mine. And then I'm like, wait, what day is it? And
I
then
was
I'm like,
once
oh.
I was once at a drag show in Pittsburgh and they were like, "Whose birthday is it in the crowd tonight?" And nobody said anything. And then one of the hosts was like, "Damn, nobody even wants to lie." She was
Exactly.
specifically like, "You guys can't even help me out by lying."
Y'all got to lie.
Yeah.
Exactly. So true.
Sometimes it's the morally correct thing to do.
Yep. To help people out.
Hmm. Don't lie about
Well,
weird things though. That's something that's still
no,
out.
don't
Like
be
if you lie
weird.
about weird things, like because sometimes does anybody ever lie to you about something weird and you're like, so why would you lie about that?
Yes. And it's like, okay, like that wasn't even fun for you. You're not even like joking. We can't even like
Yeah,
have
you're
a
just trying to
giggle.
hide things. That's where it starts to get weird for me. There's a difference between lying because you think it's funny and lying because you're trying to hide something.
Exactly.
Anyway, just had to say that.
No, there
Because
is
it is a style
definitely
guide.
there
We
is
do
a
need to tell you how to
dichotomy.
use what's in and what's out, ultimately.
But so that leads us into
But so.
Quinn. But so into your last number four, you're out. Your last out. So exciting.
And in the same way that Big Leaves was the last out on the last list, and that did make me kind of sad. This one also kind of makes me sad, but it's just something I find
Oh.
a word I've been using a lot today, but superfluous ultimately. Um,
Mm.
and that is latte art.
Aw. Damn.
I think we have to be honest about it.
Who has
Um,
time for it anymore?
yeah, and also something about me is that like when I order like a legit like latte that's like espresso and steamed milk,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm gonna need a little sugar. I'm gonna need a little sugar in that tank. I like a little packet of sugar. I like my coffee to be a little sweet. I'm gonna be honest about it.
Sure
And
enough.
so I'm gonna fuck up that coffee art.
Yeah, you're gonna have to stir it.
And because you just put effort into like making like a leaf or a heart or whatever, that's gonna make me sad a little bit because I'm like, oh, even though I ultimately am just gonna put a lid over top of it and walk with it.
Yeah, it feels destructive, but it's the
Mocha
nature of
art,
coffee.
mocha art, maybe we're still in on that, but like latte art specifically or like cappuccino art,
It's gonna have to go.
it's just not where I am right now. And I feel bad about that because I would never want to dampen anyone's expression. And that's why I don't want you guys to like waste the time on making latte art because I am ultimately going to dampen it because I need to put a little sweetener in there.
No, fair enough.
Mm-hmm. Um, well, Becca, we've done it again.
Honestly, bigger and better than ever.
I know. And I think we did this to even more success than the fall's ins and outs. I think this is gonna, I feel like
No,
this one
this
isn't
was
as controversial and much more like we're not trying to shock people, but like this one is
no.
like I feel like we're truly getting into like our cultural guru-ness and we're like, okay guys, this is what is
Oh
happening
yeah.
actually
No, yeah, this is so like our fingers are on the
on the
pulse.
on the pulse. Yeah.
Yeah, all of them, all 3 points.
Um so yeah, I
Perfect.
can't now we have to start and Becca and I don't get to rest ultimately. You guys now get to use this knowledge and stuff. Becca and I are still
Mhm.
working. We're clocked the fuck in because why? Because we
Literally.
have another one of these episodes coming up in 3 months that we have to start preparing for.
What do you think of the
We
spring?
have to Becca and I are gonna be like this. looking around because we have to. We know we have to deliver a list to you guys because what else would you do? Like, who else would you take advice from at this point?
Yeah, I can't name anyone.
Who else could you trust?
Even though we just said that we will never tell the truth, but
Yeah,
that's
no.
okay.
But
Anyway,
guys, we're gonna take a little break and we'll be right back to get into our
we
segments.
swear. We swear.
Guys, I'm scared.
Oh, dang it, Bessie, you gave me quite the fright.
Perfect.
Bessie, you gave me quite the fright. I thought you were gonna milk today. I thought you weren't gonna milk today and we were gonna have to sell you at market.
Oh my God. Don't sell the cow when you get the milk for free.
I've never heard that phrase before.
It's about
I don't quite know what it means, but
I think I messed it up, but that's fine. We're gonna have to move on. No comment, no further comment.
no further comments
On
at
my
this time.
statement. So guys, it is time for our weekly segments. First one being something that we actually have this week. We're really proud of you guys because it's a comment corner. And listen,
We've bullied you
there's
enough.
yeah, there's one little sleigh boss who keeps slaying through all the way through.
Yeah.
Officially manic pixie status, no jump scare involved here.
No, literally, could never actually.
And so we received an email entitled Hot Chocolate Whore from none other than Caitlin, our super fan.
Yes.
Caitlin, we can't thank you enough for writing in when we asked you to.
Yes, we love you.
Yeah.
Here at this podcast. In this house, we are Caitlin Stans.
Oh, absolutely. And we have thought about flying you in a la Sweetener sleepover, Ariana Grande, on the Zach Sang show.
Can we fly her in a la like when Katy Perry did that 24-hour live stream for the Witness album?
Oh, perfect, actually.
We need to do something like that. Anyway.
That'll work. Okay, lots of things in the work. Caitlin will email you.
Lots of plates in the air. Let's just say that.
Exactly. So, Caitlin pens this letter. It reads, "Hey, sleigh bosses. It's Caitlin, and I'm here again. Appeasing you to cement my place as #1 fan of the MPJ podcast, as I very famously have always been." And it's true.
And it's true.
As you literally always do, y'all have been hitting every mark, checking every box, and overall giving pussy cunt slay.
Yeah,
and it's true. So, a life update from me is I have been drinking a lot of hot chocolate, and that's about it. Anyways, keep giving the world the slay it needs. Thank you for your time and effort and for being braver than any U.S. Marine by telling the truths that should be told. Caitlin. What an interesting dichotomy to the lying that had just gone on.
Yes.
But
because that's the thing, we lie to tell truth.
That's the goal.
Because that's why we lie. We expose something. Like Becca, when she tells her coworker she's 45, she's trying to show how stupid everyone else is.
Exposing the truth on them.
Yeah, literally. Exposing the truth of how we're smarter than everybody else a little bit.
Julia Fox, please come on the podcast.
Literally.
We can talk about things like that with you. Oh my God. Okay. Well, Caitlin, I love you. I think you're definitely our #1 fan.
You're cementing your place as an icon.
Yeah. And I think
I am obsessed with you. Like, I do need to know, Caitlin, what I would like from you next, whatever, at your earliest convenience, because you've been doing a lot of work for us, and so I don't want you to ever feel pressured or anything.
No, yeah.
I do need to know more about you, Caitlin. Like, I do need to have like a little biography, and
yeah,
I love how you phrase things. Like, I love the words you choose to use, and so
it's true.
Like, I want to know a little bit more about like what the story of Caitlin is. Like, what story are you telling? Like, those are kind of things I want to know.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what a letter should do. It should invite us to live in your guys' world for a second, you know?
It's true. If you want to send over even like I'd love to see a resume from you.
What's your work experience?
Yeah, a photo maybe.
Yeah.
Anything really, because we're just dying to know.
Yeah, Caitlin, we're obsessed. And I will say, I had a hankering for hot chocolate the other night.
Hot
And so
chocolate's good.
what did I do? But I went to Wawa and got a hot chocolate when I was on my way to an event. Because I
Oh,
was just like,
nice.
oh, I have a little drive. I'll get a hot chocolate to accompany me. I even
A
was
hot
thinking about Caitlin's
chocky.
email today in preparation to record this podcast tonight, and
Yeah.
I tried to get a hot chocolate, but and not to get into a jump scare prematurely, but
Oh,
only hot water did come out of the machine, and I was like, so what is this actually?
no.
And so,
Terrible.
but yeah, I
Okay.
think that's amazing, Caitlin. Keep drinking hot chocolate. Um,
Yeah, especially
and
during
we support you
these.
in that.
Yeah. It's like it could have surely been an in, but again, it's kind
Mhm.
of a perma in for the winter.
Yeah, it's a
Hot
staple. It's a
chockies.
winter
Yep.
staple.
Yeah. A warm bevy.
And with
But
that, we come out
okay,
of the
thinking
corner and
of.
into the light. Well, actually, into the dark
Yes.
because we now have our jump scares of the week. And this is just a particular moment, maybe a string of events, even in our week that just made us terrified and like, oh my God, how am I gonna make it through?
For
And so,
me.
Becca, what was that moment for you this week?
Great question. Thank you. So recently, I went over to my good friend Lauren's house and um we were like watching YouTube, doing what we always do. And then we watch these commentary YouTubers pretty much it, like all the time. I love them.
Mm-hmm.
Um and they basically do like commentary movies on or commentaries on movies that they're
Mm-hmm.
watching. And they have watched all of the 365 days. Me and Lauren didn't know there was a third one. Again, a Netflix release that should have never ever been released. All of those films, which are basically they're the most frustrating thing you could ever possibly watch. Are you familiar with 365 Days, Quinn?
I'm not at all actually.
It's basically like if the most poorly written fan fiction from Wattpad
Mm-hmm.
became a movie.
Oh, so I'm
Um,
sold actually.
okay, so it's I think it's made by Polish production companies, and one
Mm.
of the characters is Polish and one of them is Italian. Basically, this man kidnaps this woman and says if you fall in love with me in the next 365 days, like if you don't fall in love with me in the next 365 days, I'll let you go. And so then they obviously get
If
married.
you beat the Stockholm syndrome, baby, you can go.
You're strong.
Because
Yeah,
I'll have failed.
yeah. Me. But so he's in the mafia or whatever, or something like that. Anyway, it's basically, but the movies are so frustrating because it's like 10 minutes worth of a sex scene
Mm-hmm.
in which they play 3 to 4 songs during that. It's a 1 minute scene of dialogue and then a 10-minute sex scene where they play a couple more songs. Most of the movies are sex and songs,
Mm.
and there's 3 of them
So it's like
actually.
Skinamax.
You could say so.
Is it like actual like is it like what are they showing? How explicit are the sex scenes, I guess is my question.
Pretty explicit. Like I would be surprised if they aren't really having sex. But
Okay.
it's on Netflix, so I don't know. Who's to say?
Yeah. I'm like, is it
But
earning an
basically,
NC-17? Um,
who's to say? It's on Netflix. It won't tell me.
exactly. It
But
doesn't really.
basically my jump scare is the fact that we like actually like watched another one of those movies.
And
They're
sometimes people will,
exhausting.
yeah. No, but that's another thing. It's like you didn't watch the movie to watch the movie though. You watched it so you could like understand what they were talking about a little bit.
Yeah, and also to like laugh at the really bad parts,
Yeah,
which
and
is
sometimes
most of the thing.
hate watching is something I have a complicated relationship with, but
Hate watching like I can one of my favorite hate watches is The Kissing Booth. Like I have cried
mm,
laughing to that movie because it's so hilariously bad. But things like this is like it's almost too bad to like even sit
it's
through.
not camp. It
Yeah.
hasn't gone that way
It
around.
hasn't transcended. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I get into a bad thing where like my idea of hate watching is like bad political takes.
Mm.
And so like Hassan Abi obviously is like always doing like, oh, this conservative said this.
Yep.
But it just genuinely gets upsetting sometimes because that's like actual stuff as opposed to like the kissing booth, which is just this like frivolous little movie.
Yeah, fair
Um,
enough. Well, that leads me to asking you, Quinn, what was your jump scare this week?
I guess because I don't really have one prepared. I
Okay.
will use this space to talk about Joey Graceffa's Puppy Mill.
Yeah, go for it.
So guys, Joey Graceffa, I'm sure we all remember if you were on YouTube in the golden era.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he was this man who was very guarded about his sexuality, but who was obviously like queer as a $3 bill. Um,
Yeah.
and so um he like I think somebody needs to do like a doctoral level study on people who have been on YouTube for like 10 years. Like because
Oh,
I think it's
yeah.
so interesting to see how people's content evolves. And Joey
Mm-hmm.
Graceffa's channel right now
Wait,
is
you would love this YouTuber named Smoky Glow makes
uh-huh.
these videos called Evolution of, where she goes through you per YouTubers like long careers. You would
That's
like
right up my
them.
alley actually.
The one for Gabby Hanna is crazy,
Oh my
actually.
God. And Joey Graceffa also had drama with Gabby Hanna at one point, which I feel like that's
It's
not even a
true.
novel statement to say.
Yeah, no.
But anyway, uh, but Joey Graceffa, his channel is an interesting mix of he blatantly copies cut video formats,
Yeah, he does.
like the cut, the YouTube channel. He blatantly copies those, and I'm like, how are you not getting sued by them for
A
this?
lot of people like do that.
Yeah, so I guess it's like that, but it's interesting because he has like 10 million subscribers or something. And it's just like, so what? Anyway, but the other thing he does is he's fosters animals, many of whom are like pregnant. So he'll take in like a pregnant dog, help it deliver its babies, and like then adopt them out, which like is noble in a way. Like if
Hmm.
that's the context. But sometimes it's happened now a couple times where him and his ex-boyfriend, Daniel Prada,
Yeah.
have had dogs in their care who are like their pets get pregnant.
Yep.
And guys, don't do that actually. Don't do
Do
that
not.
actually because Joey Graceffa is like running a puppy mill like on the internet and it's like weird because people are like not like talking about it. And like, he's not like, Mr. Beast like in terms of like views or anything like that, but like it is concerning.
Yeah.
And I've just been watching it for the past month because his ex-boyfriend's dog that he got after they like broke up, um, got pregnant. And when the ex-boyfriend was first explaining it, it was so crazy because he was just like, yeah, guys, well, I go between Montana and LA, and my dog's doctor is in LA, and I just didn't feel comfortable getting her fixed anywhere else. And I'm like, as if vets don't fix 30,000 dogs a day. Like,
Literally, as if not
um,
every vet was capable of that. The most
literally,
common thing they ever have to do.
like probably the thing ever, like every vet's signature move is spaying or neutering a dog. Like
Signature
that's
move,
everybody's
bro.
signature move. Um,
Literally.
that's first thing on the menu. That's the special. That's the chef's special, but for vets.
Soup of
Um,
the everyday.
and so like he was like, yeah, and I took her to my friend's house, and I knew he was intact, but I took my chances, and now she's pregnant. And I'm like, so why'd you take your
Took
chances
your
then?
chances.
Your chance, her chance. And that's the other thing
Yeah.
is that it can be very unsafe for the dog. And this week the dog has mastitis because they're trying to wean the puppies too early. And
It's actually sad.
one of the puppies died in birth. Like
Uh,
one of the puppies didn't make it out of the mom. And like, well,
it's
they did, but
terrible.
not with their life. And
Oh,
so like, yeah, and it's just like
you
it's
can't be
it's
doing that.
weird. It's weird. And it's weird how little people are talking about it. And like when you go to their YouTube, it's like, oh, all these like glowing like reviews of being like, oh my God, yay, and like all this. And then when they do talk about criticism and stuff, it's not about like the fact that they're running a puppy mill, which like it does exist. Like there are people saying like, oh, this is so fucked up that you guys are doing this. But no, what they like decide to focus on is like how like because they have like a typical like relationship between two gay men where they kind of like just insult each other all the time.
Yeah.
And sometimes people don't get that. It's something I've had to deal with myself. But like that's the stuff they choose to focus on when they're like, guys, honestly, the criticism is getting to be too much. Like that's the kind of shit they're focusing on. And not the
Yeah.
fact that they're like running puppy mills. Anyway.
Puppy mill. Which is so much worse actually.
It's just so it's kind of weird and dystopian in a way, but I can't take my eyes off of it at the same time. And I need to talk about that. So yeah.
Damn. Well, it's about time he got his comeuppance.
Yeah, and puppies are cute, guys. And it's like Joey Graceffa, I can't even like because I do think like I genuinely don't consider him to be this is gonna be so fucked up, but I don't mean it in like a I mean it in like a way where I'm not even trying to like joke or be funny about it. I just don't think he's that smart. Like I don't think what he realizes I don't think what he is doing is bad.
He's inadvertently running a puppy mill.
Yeah, like he kind of just fell into it, you know.
But it doesn't mean he shouldn't be reprimanded for it and
Yeah,
stop. And
you know, and the
frankly
fostering thing like
stopped.
is like the fostering thing is noble. Like to take in a dog and like help it like deliver its babies and get it adopted and get them all settled in new homes. It's like nice, but like
Right.
guys,
The
shelters are
workings of it.
overwhelmed. We don't need to be bringing dogs into the world anymore, really. So adopt, don't shop.
Exactly.
Give a shelter pet a home. Give a senior dog a home, guys. They don't get adopted that
Exactly.
often. It's really sad because they either get euthanized or they just live their lives in a little kennel with nobody to love, really.
Oh.
And we have genetically programmed them to love us and be obsessed with us. And so when they can't do that, they get really
They get
fucking
sad.
upset.
Yeah.
And so we're dealing with beasts of our own creation ultimately. And for that, we must
So
have our
true.
comeuppance. So anyway, we
Great
now
point.
we went from the corner into the darkness, and now we're going into the light because we're going into the manic pixie moment. And there's just a moment in the week where we
Exactly.
felt like, ooh, that girl. That's an interesting sound that's coming out of you. I had to stop.
I'm right outside here.
Oh
Whatever.
my
Whatever.
god.
What?
I had to stop the podcast for a second because I was interested by that sound you were making. But anyway.
Thank you.
Becca, what is your manic pixie moment this week? I would just really like to know.
Thanks, guys. So,
Guys.
guys. You and all your personalities. So,
You don't want to hear them. Wait, the Mary Gilbo have you do you know the Mary Gilbo American Idol audition like I do?
So, wait, I also need to put a face.
You're definitely not going to spell. Oh wait, but people misspell her name. This woman,
Mary Roach. Mary
yeah,
Roach.
Mary Roach.
Yeah,
But she's gonna change to Gilbo. I feel the sky humbling now. Well,
And she
weirdness
was
is originality too.
No, can we talk about how I know Caroline Polachek watched that audition tape. And she's gonna try and admit she wasn't influenced by that? Mary Roach is everything Caroline Polachek wants to be.
Oh my god. Oh my.
Put it in the episode, I dare you.
The episode, I dare you.
I fucking dare you.
Don't shackle me. And it will be actually. But anyway,
Perfect.
what's your manic pixie moment?
Oh yeah.
I absolutely busted gut.
So it's pretty simple actually. As you may recall, one of my updates, I don't know if it was a manic pixie moment, but my updates from the summer was that my room was extraordinarily hot. So I had to actually move all my furniture around to unleash one of the vents, the air vents, to cool down my room. And since it's winter now and I don't really need that, I was able to move my bed back to its original spot. So I no
Fix the
longer
feng
sleep.
shui.
Exactly. The feng shui is fixed and I don't have to sleep in a day bed position anymore. And also I was because my bed was sideways and I was sleeping like sideways. Anyway, it was kind of fucked up, but it was kind of really fucked up. But also I now have a desk back in my room.
Yeah,
so, I can
you can do
sit.
so many things.
I built a chair from Target
Mm.
I do exceed the weight limit by probably like 100 pounds, but that's fine. I had to ignore it because it was a $30 chair.
No, yeah, every room needs a little sitting area. Especially a bedroom, because sometimes you don't want to like be in your bed, but you want to be in your room. And so where are you to go if you don't have a sitting area?
Exactly. No, exactly. Like I just need options of where to sit.
Yeah, I'm blessed enough to have a desk and a sitting area, so there are multiple kind of places where I can
That's awesome.
do business,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
make
Yeah, that's
deals,
great.
all that kind of stuff.
Yep, let's make a deal. Yeah, so I'm feeling very happy because of that. So it's good. Fix my mood. All right, Quinn. That leads me to asking you, what is your manic pixie moment of the week?
My Manic Pixie moment is honestly today. I am a manifester,
Mm.
but specifically when it comes to clothing. Like, I don't know what
Ooh.
it is. Maybe it's because it's the thing I'm like most like, it's not even something I realize I'm doing, but it's like I speak clothing items into existence for myself.
I love that.
Because like literally today I went out and I have like, I didn't like my good jeans, like all my good jeans flopped or not
Oh,
flopped. They did their service, but sometimes things fall apart.
yeah.
Sometimes you wear garments so much that they have literal holes in them and you got to be like, okay, is
Time to
this still
turn her
socially
in.
acceptable for me to wear? Um, and with like all my good pairs of jeans, that became and that's kind of the thing because it was like spring was just afoot, and so I was like, oh, I won't be wearing jeans again for eons actually.
Yeah.
And so I had a little bit of a reprieve, but now, and then the jeans I took on my trip around the world also kind of got trashed because I wore them a lot.
Mm,
And so now I came home and I just have like no jeans that like are like appropriate. And then the jeans I do have here kind of like don't fit me that well. Um,
yeah.
and so I was like, I need jeans. But something about me is I hate shopping retail. Like I hate shopping retail. And so I need to go to thrift stores. And so I was like, I'm gonna find jeans at the thrift store. Like that, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna be my first point of sale. I walk into the Goodwill, immediately find two pairs of jeans, different washes, fit me great.
Perfect. Oh my God. That's
The
actually
leg
a
situation,
blessing.
I do believe I will have to buy because I do want like a versatility, like to be able to have like a nice fitted look when I
Hmm.
want that. But um, so because these ones like don't like fit my like they don't like really taper because they are like, and that's the other thing I like is that like at like Goodwills or vintage stores you can still find jeans like pre-elastic in jeans,
Yes.
and
Like
so
a
they're just,
sturdy
yes, like a
denim.
sturdy jean like that are more
Yep.
sturdy than they make them today.
Yep.
And I also really enjoy that kind
Me
of vibe.
too.
And so I found two of those today. And also I've been wanting like a brown
Awesome.
leather jacket. And what did I find when I
Oh.
went to Pittsburgh 2 weeks ago? But a brown leather trench coat.
Oh my God. That's actually amazing.
Hmm. Yeah. And so I'm a,
Wow.
I'm a big speaker of existence into things. And I have a pair of leather pants I spoke into existence that I haven't worn ever, but I'll find a appropriate venue one day.
Oh my God.
Or I'll
I
find
love
other leather pants
this.
I like better.
I really, really
My
love
cowboy
this.
boots. I think it's something, and I think
Ooh.
it makes me believe in manifestation. Maybe I should start speaking other things into existence because it has worked with clothing. And so,
No, my manifestation has been high lately, my intuition as well. So,
oh my God. And I had a total Sagittarius intuitive moment today because
ooh.
my mom, when I woke up this morning, was completely wigging out because my brother called her in the middle of the night, didn't leave a message, and she like couldn't get a hold of him this morning. So she was understandably concerned, but I said,
Yeah.
Mom, maybe he just rolled over his phone while he was sleeping. Come to find out, that's literally exactly what happened.
Yep. I believe it. Exactly.
And I was
No,
like,
it,
I literally texted my mom, who was probably like so relieved in this moment. I literally texted her like right after that. I
I
said,
told you
it's
so,
Sagittarius
weirdo.
season. My intuition is at its strongest.
I'm the strongest I will ever be for now. No, I saw a TikTok earlier today and it was like one of those like test your intuition. This card is going to be a color and a number without even I literally like a millisecond I was like green 4.
Mm.
Boom. Green 4.
Really? I would
And I
have
had to
failed. I
stop
was
for
thinking blue
45
too.
minutes.
I run around my
I
room.
would have failed. Little circles. Um, no, yeah. Stuff like that is crazy. I love being right.
Yeah. Oh, you know what the best is when you get like a bad feeling about somebody and then they confirm it.
Exactly. And that's what I'm putting out there for Miles Teller.
Exactly. No, in the next calendar year, Miles Teller will do something
He's gonna be canceled hard, I bet.
unsavory. Oh
Yeah.
my God, that's another thing we should maybe do. Like try to do one of those celebrity prediction things. I love when people
Oh
read
my
those.
God. Yeah.
What did one of them say? Somebody's gonna come out as non-binary or bisexual or something. I don't know. But yeah.
Whatever that is. Queer.
Jeez. But yeah, that's the end of our little
Wow.
shoe today.
This was a
And
crazy
so
one.
I know we like very different energy we brought to the studio today, but I'm kind of obsessed.
Yeah.
And so Becca, where can the people follow you if they want to get like a better look at your face, which maybe if they're joining us today as their first
It wouldn't
episode,
have.
they wouldn't really understand what you look like.
Yeah, they have less access to right now. Well, thank you for bringing it up. They can follow me on Instagram at Becca Hobart,
Hmm.
TikTok, Where Y'all Going During World War III, Twitter and Spotify, Beck's Gloss. And they can also find me probably at the top of a mountain singing Welcome to My Island in a yodel format.
And causing an avalanche as a result.
Many, many people died. Anyway, but Quinn, where can the people keep up with you individually if they would like to?
You can find me at Quimby Murphy on both Instagram and TikTok. And you can find me at Quimby Murphy _ on Twitter. And you can find me thinking about how I used to be a genius, but now I'm actually 22.
Oh,
And you can also find me thinking and contemplating and questioning how a person can know everything at 18, but nothing at 22,
nothing at 22.
actually. And you can also find me being Miss 20 something.
20 something.
Because we're still stuck on
So
that. We're
true.
still processing control in this house, and Sis has moved on.
Literally. Oh my God.
And it's SOS, we're battening down the hatches. But anyway.
Literally.
And Becca, where can people follow the show so that in 3 months they will have another update on what is in and what is out even?
Exactly. Well, they can follow at Manic Pixie Jump Scare on Instagram and TikTok. And then they can also follow us or subscribe to our YouTube where we post the podcast at length and usually some exclusive content sometimes. Um, and also they can do the captions on there if they need for our deaf listener Ryan. And
Shout out to him for real.
stay strong. And then of course, they can email into manicpixiejumpscare@gmail.com. Guys, we don't have to have just one Caitlin.
I know. There can be many, actually. Well, there will never be another, but
Yeah, there can be many number two
you guys can
fans.
do what Caitlin has done. It's a matter of sending 2 emails, and we're exalting her like she is
Literally, she's
Jesus
part of the
Christ
lore.
herself. Like
Yeah. No, she's part of the MPJC. Whoa. I always mess up our letters.
you were doing
MPJCU.
perfectly, actually.
Oh, thank you.
You did perfectly, and then you stopped yourself. And what does that say?
Must got nervous. Fear is the only thing that holds us back in life. Let
I'm
there be listen to all.
shy. Oh my God, being shy. That's another thing that kind of got my gander going when Captain Jason said he was kind of a shy person at his core.
There's nothing I love more than like an introverted man like that.
I know. If you're introverted, hot, and straight, like, oh,
Like,
my God.
like
That means you're
batten down the
mysterious a little bit.
hatches.
That means you're mysterious. No,
You are my Friday.
it's not. You are my Friday. It's not and it's not the ocean we're sailing in, actually.
Yeah,
We're sailing in a
trust.
different kind of fluid that I'm drinking myself, actually.
Overnight. Overnight.
Overnight oats is what we're sailing in. How
Exactly. Oh my God.
are we gonna do this with you being shaded? We're
Intuition.
quit.
Fuck.
Well, I failed the test as we.
Established.
Where Quinn and
Where
where
Becca.
Becca. And
And
thank you
thank you
for listening.
for listening.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
Bye now.
Bye now.
Bye now.
Manic Pixie Jump Scare is hosted by Quinn Murphy
And Becca Hobart. Executive produced by Quinn Murphy and Becca Hobart.
Sound and video editing by Quinn Murphy.
Social media management and highlights by Becca Hobart.
And our theme song was written by Quinn Murphy, Becca Hobart, and Nandita Mahesh.